Welcome back to, well, it's almost data center news India this week, isn't it?
Yeah, most of the stories are seemingly coming from there.
Yeah, absolute boomtown in the subcontinent. We've got not big as news this week as last week. I think we used all the good stories with our special guest on.
Well, I think with the week that's in it next week with Data Center All Asia in town, probably a lot of people are going to pair announcements up with that week as well. So yeah, as Reece said, not as busy as previous weeks.
Yeah, Tech Week Asia. Tune in next week. We're going to have a few special features coming, and we haven't actually decided what we're going to do on the Friday news, but we do have some special interviews for next week. So that will be fun's the wrong word.
It will be fun. It will be fun. It's not the wrong word. It will be fun.
All right, should we fire away with this week?
Yeah.
All right. So India. So the first one that I saw was DLF Tech Park, which is up in Noida. Noida, checking on DC Byte, there's planned stuff from Adani Connects, Yota, STT, SIFI, and Capital Land. So Noida is busy. What makes Noida special? I don't know too much about this part of India.
Well, Noida's just outside Delhi. I think, as we've discussed before, it's a planned city. Noida stands for something.
Oh, yes, and I'm going to get the pictures up on the screen again because it's quite cool. It's the new.
Yeah. So it's not just a place name. It is actually an acronym of something, which is basically highlighting the fact it's a planned city. But yeah, we were out there, myself and my Indian analyst Chandler. It's big industrial parks. I think there's sufficient power for all the DC developments there. It's basically the area which is going to kind of provide capacity for for Delhi and that part of India as well. So yeah, a lot going on. This is an interesting story, or kind of story, talking about DLF Tech Park.
Yeah, so it's a 25-acre plot they've got. I don't know what 400,000 square feet of IT load is. I don't think that's a metric that we normally use, but that's what was reported as where the space would be for it. And it seems that the tenant is rumored to be STT. That's not confirmed by STT, but that would make sense since they are in most of the other major India developments so far. So
yeah, like I think that's, like I said, it's not confirmed, and we haven't seen evidence to suggest that it definitely is STT. But I think STT is a likely candidate, given that a lot of the other developers have got plots, or in the case of Yata, they actually already have their facility up there, which we saw last time I was in India. So yeah, that's interesting. One to keep an eye on. Like Noida, we're going to see a lot more developments in Noida in the next year, 24 months or so. So yeah, I think STT guess is a fair one, and yeah, we'll find out more when it gets officially announced.
One to watch. This one is West Bengal. Siliguri is the town where this data center is being built. The West Bengal Electronics Industry Development Corporation Limited, shortened to Webel or Webel. I don't know. This is a government-backed company. I think it's sort of a state. I guess like their sort of INDA would be the equivalent for that region. And yeah, they're starting construction on a new facility there. I think they've got some already in the area.
I'm not actually sure. I don't know a huge amount about this project or this group, in fact. But as we've mentioned before, West Bengal or Calcutta, very underdeveloped, and obviously huge population there to service. So again, we're going to see loads more in Calcutta coming up. Which brings us to our next story.
Weebel. Sorry, we done Weebel. This is NTT. So NTT is, I think, always a bit of a surprise when it comes to India. I know obviously NTT are a huge player globally, but I checked on the news source. I didn't verify it on DC by this time, but they were looking at 16 data centers already across India. They've got NTT.
Yeah, they've got big campus style developments across the major metros there. I've seen most of them, very impressive facilities, kind of best in class design and EUE efficiency, all the rest. So yeah, NTT, they obviously acquired the NetMagic portfolio 5+ years probably ago now, quite a while ago. But I've kind of added to that and build. And NTT, it's interesting because they regard India as a separate region in the same way they do as EMEA or either North America or the Americas. So like it's an area that it's a market or a region that they're investing tons of money into, tons of expertise, and yeah, they're kind of reaping the rewards there as well. Doing very well.
Makes a lot of sense. I suppose it's more populous than either of
Exactly,
either of those regions. But this milestone for them was the completion of the first phase of their Kolkatta site, which is 6 megawatts. The first phase.
Yeah.
It didn't say whether it's live or not, but I think completed was the term, so I'm assuming that's construction.
Yeah, because they had in the press release it mentioned operations March, so people use slightly different terms to.
Launched is my favourite one. That can mean anything from
it's turned on to they've got a shoulder on the ground. But anyway, they're making strong progress here. 6 megawatts, scalable up to 25, I believe it is. Like I said, serving a huge population base in that region, not in that part of India. So again, it's going to be still in its infancy, that market. There's not too much going on as of right now. However, a lot of the big players are obviously planning investment there, and I think we're going to see a lot more news stories coming out of there.
Another one from I guess North Asian investors into India. This was a bit more of an obscure story. I don't know if you've had any details on this one. Solis-IDC or Solis-IDC is a Korean company. They have announced that they plan to invest $2 billion, which is a not insubstantial sum, into India. No details on sites, no details on locations. This company is, again, they definitely they have a website. They're definitely building stuff, but I haven't seen the progress on their Korea sites either.
No, we've been aware of this for quite some time. I haven't seen a huge amount of evidence of significant progress on the DC side of things. I thought the timing of the announcement was slightly curious, but again, one going to keep an eye out because Korea, there's still very strong demand there, and actually getting capacity built is very difficult, as we've discussed many times. So let's keep an eye on that one to see how that develops.
Yeah, funnily enough, I was doing my research on this one, and the Napo New City site was the one that we've talked about before in Korea that Solid-IDC were building, and it was meant to go live on their website at least in 2022. But no signs of it.
No signs. Speaks volumes, right?
Let's see. If anyone from Solis-IDC is watching and has some more update, and you guys are in stealth mode, then please either drop in the comments or maybe a sneaky DM would be better. Different emerging markets here, much smaller in scale than, of course, the numbers we're looking at for India, but nonetheless interesting. Sabah. This is the of the 3 Malaysian states. This is Sabah and Sarawak are the 2 East Malaysia states that are obviously not as developed as Jakarta and Johor. But this is a new site that's being built. Sorry, Jakarta. KL and Johor, West Malaysia. But the Sabah, the capital, Kota Kinabalu, we were talking about some potential developments there. I want to say Q1. There's some cable landing points coming in around there. This was another statement that I saw from the deputy chief minister of the site. Posiedon is the company.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. So, it's a pretty small DC. It was 25 million US investment. So, yes, that equates to, let's say, roughly 3 megawatts in that part of the world. The one thing that caught my eye on this was they say they want to be Malaysia's first tier 4 data center.
A ship, I believe, is.
Well, no, it's interesting because obviously there's a Next DC are also aiming to become the first tier 4 DC with their development in just outside of KL. I think a completely different ends of the scale. I think Next DC is planning once fully built out to be 60 megawatts as opposed to 3 megawatts. So it'll be interesting to see who gets that like the first stage finished or gets that certification first for that title.
A foot race between Next DC and Posiedon Technologies. Interesting matchup. That is quite smart. I did see in the statement from the deputy chief minister here that they were planning to bring in the digital economy, the green economy, and AI to Kota Kinabalu. So I expect pretty lean operations to be getting some AI trading done in 3 megawatts.
Who knows?
optimism is actually is a virtue. There's another one actually, again, smaller site here, but interesting. So again, more emerging part of Indonesia this time. So this is Surabaya, which I believe is across from Java, the main island of Jakarta. Surabaya is the smaller towns. There were some sites, some local telcos are building, but this new one is a local company called LinkNet, but the data centers are being built by the Chinese telco ZTE. And I think they've launched the sites actually.
Yeah, they're pretty small facilities, but yeah, the fact that they are in Surabaya as opposed to where the other direction is kind of worth pointing out. I don't know, if you call these edge facilities, it's difficult to know exactly what workloads they'll be holding. And
for an edge facility, they're quite big, I suppose. But it is interesting. These are sort of markets and locations that are clearly overlooked or not of interest to the major international player, or let's say major Western players. But a lot of the whether it's Chinese telcos or others, are obviously moving in there, and that you can only be a first mover once.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, good point. And getting all the infrastructure and supporting services set up then obviously allows you to, as you mentioned, take advantage of the fact that you had been the first mover initially. So, it's probably only a matter of time before we start seeing the larger developments in places like Surabaya as well. Like they can't always be clustered around the capital city in the case of Jakarta. So, in 5 years' time, we'll probably be talking about 50 megawatt developments there.
Well, the population would support it. The long term demand. There was a blog post or something from Google this week that you want to.
Oh yeah, this was not news per se, but this was an interesting blog post by Google, and we'll put the link in the comments, I guess. So they're testing systems out within their data centers to basically alleviate the electricity demand during times of grid problems. So I think they call it a demand response system, and I'm not doing the blog justice here, but like I said, we will post the blog. But basically, what they're doing is they're moving non-urgent computing away from specific facilities when there's pressure on the grid, to basically ensure that the DC doesn't go down, except to kind of support the grid in times of stress. Apparently first tested in Europe, so I think in relation to probably the energy issues caused by Ukraine war, amongst other things, they tested in a number of the different sites across Europe. But from an Asia perspective, they've also done it with their big Taiwan campus. That was mentioned as well. So I think it said a couple of times throughout 2022 and 2023. No mention of Singapore developments yet, but it is an interesting blog. Like I said, we'll post a link. Just interesting to see some of the hyperscalers doing things like this, because obviously there's strain on the grids, and as workloads grow and AI demands, all that kind of stuff happens, probably going to see a lot more of this. So interesting.
Yeah, there was a white paper from Microsoft last year about trying to effectively use data centers in their gen capacity as batteries and sharing load with the grid. And individually, all these announcements are, I wouldn't go as far as saying like fanciful, but they're not always short-term realistic. But it's great to see that these things all kind of combine into, potentially energy systems. Demand response is something I'm a big fan of for different power applications, and these grid upgrades are really important and makes complete sense for the Taiwan one as well, especially considering the potential level of intermittency now they've turned off their nuclear up there. So that's pretty cool stuff from Google.
And neither Reese or I are engineers, so please don't take anything we mention from that point of view in any way serious. No, but next week, super busy week, Data Center World in town. Reese, I believe you are paneling a session.
Yes, I'm not an engineer, but I am an attention hog. So yes, we'll be running a session on talent and diversity. Got a few really good guests on there from Equinix, iMasons, and Santa Academy. So please check us out. We'll be on the Thursday on the keynote stage, and I mean, it looks like a pretty packed schedule, to be honest, next week anyway, between DCW and Cloud Expo Asia is the other one.
It's the same thing, yeah. Anyway, we got to go. We've hit our 15-minute limit. Reach out to us if you want to catch up with us there. Speak soon and catch a lot of you next week. Happy Friday.